Hi, my name's Phil. I like talking about politics, and in this video, I like to discuss the extent to which Elon Musk seems to be tanking Trump's approval ratings and consider if this makes it more likely that there would be a falling out down the line if the president feels the need for a scapegoat. But first, for daily political commentary, please hit the subscribe button to stay notified. So in terms of like the headline approval rating figures, Trump has a net positive approval rating. So it's not like he's stunningly unpopular yet. However, it is normal for presidents to have a net positive approval rating several weeks into their term. According to American News, his ratings are actually bad historically. If you don't count his approval ratings a few weeks into his first term, which were even worse, he still has the second worst net approval rating of any president a few weeks into their term post Second World War. So if for any reason he cares about approval ratings, then he doesn't have a lot of political capital to sacrifice. The question is, I suppose, does he care? It's clear he cares what people think of him because he's making up his own approval ratings. I'd also say that, sure, he doesn't have to face another election. He'll either subvert the next election or will just have to stand aside in 47 months' time. But right now, he has Congress mostly under control because many members are afraid of what Trump can do to them. If his approval rating really does tank, they may end up being more afraid of the voters than Trump, as all democratically elected politicians should be. They may then resist him a bit more. Even threatening to might make Trump care about approval ratings because it's not like he has a lot of scope in Congress either. There's not a huge control by the Republicans. And right now, according to reports, Musk is responsible for the biggest millstone around Trump's ratings. A report on the worst things Trump had done in office so far showed 24%, which is the biggest chunk apparently, of respondents saying that the work Musk is doing at DOGE with funding freezes. The widespread and reckless disruption of federal agencies is proving to be a little bit unpopular. Hardly surprising, really. I mean, as politicians like to say, there will be some waste in all government departments, sure, but a crackhead is not going to find them after a few weeks of illegally rifling through confidential financial data. And there's not going to be waste on this scale. And the mad thing about this mega austerity drive is that it means sacking people who voted for Trump. I'm already seeing little reports of Trump voters, like proper Trump supporters as well, shaking their heads and saying they didn't vote for this. There's one particularly impressive one on Twitter. And it's like, no, you did vote for this. As many of you will know, I've got plenty to criticise Trump for. But one thing I cannot accuse him of is doing things he didn't promise. There are some things he did promise to do which he's not doing and he's never going to do. But what he promised was contradictory with a lot of other things. So it was only ever possible to fulfill some of the promises anyway, mutually exclusive. I cannot think of a single thing, however, that he has done that wasn't known about before the election. Any Trump voters out there go, oh, he didn't say he would do that. Yes, he did. And we told you he would do it. Not a single Trump voter gets to say they didn't think he would do this. What they mean is they didn't think he would do it to them. In fact, in terms of the DOGE-driven job losses, someone posted a comment today, as I say, about him doing much the same thing at Twitter. And it's like, yeah, he did. But although Twitter is now much less valuable, Musk is doing fine. This is a problem in politics when you've got people in charge of a project who don't suffer if that project fails. So then where is their incentive not to fail? We know that all senior politicians are obviously always going to be financially insulated from the cost of their decisions. There's no other way around that. You can't not pay politicians well. But at least you want them to be personally attached to the project. So if the project succeeds, they do well out of it. If the project fails, they do badly out of it. If Musk succeeds in what he wants to do with DOGE, at the cost to America, of course, he becomes the world's first trillionaire. If he fails, he's still the richest man in America. Unless, I guess, he fails so badly he ends up in prison. But I doubt he is taking that outcome seriously. The way people like Trump get support is by lots of people knowing full well he's a bastard, an evil tyrant, a crook. They don't care. People don't actually care about decent politicians. As long as he makes things better for them or worse for people they hate, that's all that matters. And these people allowed themselves to believe it doesn't matter if their president breaks their own laws or is nasty to their own people, as long as they're doing it in their interests. But although it is possible that, yes, you could have a billionaire president acting in the public interest, statistically, it's not likely. And the idea that an entire cabal of billionaires would do so is vanishingly unlikely. So DOGE, not very popular. This is because it's the most obviously destructive right now. It's not even just the job losses, although they will sting local economies as well as individual families. People will notice when the services they provide are no longer working. I can't even see evidence that Musk is wrecking services in just Democrat voting areas to be strategic. Just seems very haphazard to me. I see various senior members of Trump's government have already countermanded Musk's latest order that all federal employees have to write a letter to him explaining why they're worth their job, otherwise they're fired. Musk claims the order comes from Trump, but then why would heads of departments tell their staff to ignore the order? They're obviously not going to contradict a presidential order. They've been appointed by Trump, right? So they don't believe the order comes from Trump. Musk is just pretending to be the messenger because he doesn't want too many of his fingerprints on the very probably illegal work he is doing. Trump may be dodging prison. Musk might be in greater peril, at least from state law. Mind you, wouldn't it be a shame if Trump and Musk came to blows? And the president refuses to pardon Musk for federal offences as well. I know it would seem topsy-turvy for America to imprison the world's richest man, but it could happen. If you remember, there was already some friction between MAGA personalities and Musk over visas. That seems to have died right down. I suspect because they realise Trump is in favour of the policy himself anyway. But is there an outcome where Trump sees Musk as more of a liability than an asset? We know he has no problem dropping even close advisors at the drop of a hat from his first term. People may say, oh, but Musk was instrumental in helping Trump win the election. He'll be grateful to him. It's like, yeah, but so was Bannon the first time round. He didn't last long. I guess it would be down to a combination of a couple of factors. The first is, what is Musk's value to Trump? What is he doing that Trump needs him to do? And is it something that's a long-term thing or not? In theory, if Trump gets his value from Musk sooner rather than later, then Musk's value falls over time. The second is the damage being caused to Trump. Right now, Trump has positive approval ratings and his own fantasy ratings are marvellous. But his approval rating is already at a historically low base and may only be propped up because he's looking active in a lot of areas right now. He's giving the impression of getting lots done domestically and especially internationally. Once this blur of activity recedes, leaving no improvements to people's lives, what then? Remember, Labour are struggling in the polls in the UK right now, partly, yes, because they're bad at explaining the changes that are actually taking place, but mostly because the changes aren't evident to people yet. Trump is a better communicator. He understands the need to shout about achievements, look active, look like he's doing loads of things, shouting about the things he's doing, whether these things exist or not. But there will come a time where people decide, enough time has passed for them to look at their own lives and ask if it's better. Trump is trying to head off criticism by claiming the economy will have to suffer for long-term benefits. So when the economy tanks, he goes, no, it's all part of the plan. People tried that with Brexit here. It might work on the hardcore MAGA supporters. It's not necessarily going to work on the rest. I don't think it would work on most Americans. If the public decide they were promised instant benefits and demand they get them, approval ratings could go south, in a matter of months. And if Musk's activities are seen as the biggest negative impact on those ratings, as they are right now, and Trump decides the financial benefits are either not worth it or are no longer worth it because he's already got most of his use out of Musk, he may decide it's time for Operation Scapegoat. Does Musk have a plan for that? Is he banking on Twitter being too useful to Trump to give up? Will it work? Because I said recently, our best hope now may be that Trump's people are too stupid or too drugged up to get much done. But another hope is that they all fall out with the federal government looking more like a Three Stooges production. But there we are. Those are my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comments below. If you've enjoyed the video, please click the like button and subscribe for further content. If you'd like to support the channel further, you can click the join button for memberships. Thanks for watching, and until next time, I'll see you later.